The library is silent. Harper is at a corner table, surrounded by thick biology textbooks and colorful highlighters. She is wearing headphones, completely locked in. Michael enters. The room shifts. A group of girls at a nearby table immediately start whispering, adjusting their hair. Michael doesn't glance at them. His eyes scan the room and stop on Harper. He walks over and sits at the table directly across from her. Harper doesn't look up. She turns a page, scribbling a note. 10 minutes pass. Michael isn't looking at his book. He's watching the way Harper's brow furrows in concentration. He reaches into his bag and pulls out a luxury fountain pen, but he doesn't write. He just watches the girl who hasn't realized, or doesn't care, that the Prince of Seoul is 2 feet away. Fast forward, 2 weeks later. The ocean breeze blows through the palms. Michael is standing by a fountain, flanked by 2 other guys who look like they stepped out of a magazine. Ashley walks up, flashing a brilliant smile. Michael, my parents are hosting a gala for the children's hospital next week. Your father is the keynote speaker. I assumed we'd go together? Michael looks past her. He sees Harper walking across the grass, balancing a stack of books and a coffee. She trips slightly, catching herself, and continues on without looking around. Michael in a low, steady voice replies, I have study obligations, Ashley. Ashley laughing. Since when do you need to study? You own the technology the teachers are using. Michael finally looking at Ashley, cold. Some people value the effort more than the result. Excuse me. He walks away, leaving Ashley standing there. She turns, following his gaze, and sees Harper entering the science wing. Ashley's smile vanishes. Late afternoon in the chemistry lab. Harper is cleaning up a spill at her station. The lab is empty, or so she thinks. As she cleans, she hums Twisted by Keith Sweat, a R&B melody she is playing on her playlist in the background. An unexpected voice chimes in. The titration was off. Harper jumps, dropping her cloth. Michael is standing in the doorway, his blazer off, sleeves rolled up to reveal a luxury watch. You scared me, and my titration was fine, thanks. Michael approaching her. It was 0.2 milliliters over. I saw it from across the room. And what song is that? Harper squinting. It's called Twisted. Anyway, do you just spend your day watching me do lab work? Don't you have a fan club to manage? Michael pauses. He's standing close enough now that she can smell his expensive cologne. He doesn't smile, but his eyes soften. They are loud. You are. He pauses for a moment. You are quiet. And I prefer the quiet. Well, the quiet is trying to get an A+, Michael. So, unless you're here to help me recalibrate this, I have a bus to catch. Michael replies simply, my driver can take you. Harper picking up her bag replies, I'm a big girl. I can handle the Long Beach transit. Good night, Yong-Sun. She uses his Korean name intentionally. It stops him cold. He watches her walk out, a ghost of a smile finally touching his lips. He immediately pulls out his phone and downloads Twisted. With his AirPods in, he kept the track on repeat for the entire drive home. He thought to himself, this is a sign. She wants me to. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe because you don't want to miss this. The next day, the hallway is crowded. Ashley corners Harper at her locker, with her court of friends standing behind her. Ashley, in mean girl energy, says, So, I saw the little performance in the lab yesterday. I'm going to give you some sisterly advice, Harper. Harper replies, I have 3 sisters. I'm full on advice. Ashley, face hardening. Don't be delusional. Michael comes from a world you can't even Google. In Korean high society, there's a blueprint. He's going to marry a girl with a certain pedigree, a certain look. Harper stops and looks at her. Ashley continues. You're smart, right? Use your brain. Asians aren't really into black girls. It's a cultural thing. You're just a novelty because you're the only person who hasn't fainted at his feet. Don't waste your time. You'll just end up as a footnote in his very expensive life. Ashley pats Harper's shoulder and walks away. Harper stands there, her grip tightening on her strap. It's the end of the school day. Harper is walking toward the gate when a black SUV pulls up alongside her. The window rolls down. Michael is in the back seat. And he says, Harper, get in. She keeps walking. Go home, Michael. I'm not in the mood for the high society drama. The car stops. Michael actually gets out, a rare sight. He stands in her path. What did she say to you? She told me the truth. About your world. About how I don't fit into the blueprint. Michael steps closer, his stoic mask cracking for the first time. He speaks with an intensity that makes the air feel heavy. My father owns hospitals because he wants to control life. I've spent 18 years being a piece on his chessboard. But when I look at you, you're the only thing in the city that feels real. My family doesn't choose my life. I do. He reaches out, his hand hovering near her face, waiting for permission. Michael continues. And I choose to know the girl who cares more about her future than my father's money. Harper looks at him, searching his eyes. The mysteriously cold guy is gone. There's a fire there now. Ashley is already starting rumors about me. Michael says coldly. Let her talk. She is a whisper. I don't care what anyone says. You are the music. You got me twisted over you. Harper tilted her head at him for a brief moment. She realized that line, you got me twisted over you, came from a Keith Sweat song she played in her chemistry lab one afternoon. She grinned and nodded. He opens the car door for her. This time, Harper pauses, looks back at the school where Ashley is watching from a second-floor window, and steps into Michael's world. I'm so happy you're still here. It means a lot. Help me promote positive representation of Black girls and Black women. You can do that by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much. Okay, let's continue. The story continues with Harper standing her ground against the high school's rumor mill and the high-stakes drama of Michael's family gala. The next morning, the school is a hive of whispers. Ashley has been busy. She stands at the center of the quad, holding an iced latte like a scepter. As Harper walks past, Ashley raises her voice just enough for the surrounding students to hear. I'm just saying, some people really don't know their place. You can put a designer dress on a textbook, but it's still just a textbook. Right, Harper? Harper stops. She doesn't look angry, she looks bored. She turns slowly to face Ashley. Ashley, you spend so much time worrying about my place that you've completely forgotten yours. You're the queen bee of a high school in Long Beach. Meanwhile, I'm looking at medical schools that don't care about your daddy's donor status. Ashley replies. Michael's father would never allow it. He's traditionally Korean. They value legacy. They don't value distractions. You're just a phase he's using to annoy his parents. If I'm a distraction, then why am I the only one he actually talks to? Maybe he's not looking for a legacy. Maybe he's just looking for someone who can actually read the menu at his favorite restaurant without pictures. Harper walks away as the crowd's whispers turn toward Ashley, who is fuming. Fast forward to Michael's father's event. The Medical Dynasty Gala. The gala is held at a historic landmark, the Queen Mary. The air is thick with the scent of lilies and the quiet clink of crystal. Michael, Yong-Sun, stands beside his father, Chairman Kang, a man who radiates absolute authority. Michael is in a tailored tuxedo, his face an unreadable mask of duty. Ashley is there too, wearing a dress that cost more than most people's cars, hovering near the Kang family. Then, Harper arrives. She isn't wearing anything loud, just a sleek midnight blue gown that makes her skin glow. She walks with the confidence of someone who has already mastered the room's energy. Michael's eyes immediately lock onto hers. He breaks away from a group of hospital board members, a move that causes a visible ripple of shock, and walks toward her. You came. Harper smiling. I figured I should see what all the fuss was about. Your father looks formidable. Michael takes her hand, leading her directly toward Chairman Kang. The room goes silent. Ashley watches from the sidelines, her glass shaking in her hand. Father, I'd like you to meet Harper. She's the top student in my year, and the primary reason I've finally mastered advanced biochemistry. The chairman looks Harper up and down. He's used to girls who giggle and bow. Harper meets his gaze with a steady, respectful nod. Biochemistry? My son says you are his only intellectual rival. Harper replies respectfully. I wouldn't call it a rivalry, Chairman. I'd call it a standard. I just happen to be the one setting it. A small, dangerous smile plays on the chairman's lips. He sees what Michael sees. Not a distraction, but a force. Ashley tries to interject, stepping into the circle. Chairman Kang, I was just telling Michael how much my father enjoys your medical tech collaborations. Chairman Kang without looking at her. Respond. Not now, Ashley. I'm speaking with a future doctor. Michael leans in close to Harper, his voice a low vibration that only she can hear. I told you. You're the music. Everyone else is just noise. Okay, before we get to the next part of the story, we'll need to explore Korean high society. In Korean high society, chaebol families, like many high societal families, marriage is often treated as a merger designed to consolidate wealth and power between influential families. Behind the closed doors, Michael's family views Harper not just as a classmate, but as a potential disruption to a multi-generational business strategy. To the Kangs, it's not the color of Harper's skin, it's her lack of a wealthy pedigree that makes her a distraction from the carefully planned legacy Michael is meant to inherit. If you're still here, and you haven't subscribed or liked this video, I need an explanation. Laughing out loud. I'll wait for you. I'm just kidding. Now back to the story. One afternoon in the chairman's private office. The office is minimalist, overlooking the Long Beach skyline. Chairman Kang sits behind a desk made of dark, polished wood. His wife, Mrs. Kang, stands by the window, looking at a digital folder of Harper's school records. Mrs. Kang speaking in Korean. She is impressive, yes. Top of her class. But her father is a teacher, and her mother is a nurse. They have no standing, no leverage. Michael is confusing a high school crush with a business decision. Chairman Kang with unreadable eyes says. He is young. He thinks he is choosing a partner. He doesn't realize he is choosing a successor. If he marries into the Hong or Lee families, our European expansion is guaranteed. Mrs. Kang looking at her husband says. We must be careful. If we forbid it, he will rebel. We need to make her choose to leave. I've already contacted the admissions board at Oxford. We will offer her a full, 4-year medical scholarship in England. It's an anonymous gift for her excellence. Once she is 6,000 miles away, the distance will do our work for us. A week later at the Kang estate, Michael convinced his parents to invite Harper for a traditional dinner. The table is set with heavy brass cutlery and dozens of banchan, side dishes. Michael looks tense. Harper wears a simple, modest dress, her posture perfect. Michael says to Harper, wait for my father to lift his spoon first. It's a matter of respect. The chairman lifts his spoon. The room is silent except for the clink of metal on porcelain. Harper carefully takes a small portion of a shared dish, using both hands to receive a glass of tea for Mrs. Kang. Mrs. Kang, smiling thinly, says, you have very good manners, Harper. It's rare for someone who wasn't raised in our circle. Tell me, what are your plans after graduation? I'm aiming for Johns Hopkins or Stanford, Mrs. Kang. I want to specialize in pediatric neurosurgery. Chairman Kang utters. A noble goal. But wouldn't an international education be better? I've heard rumors of a prestigious scholarship opening up at Oxford for students with your exact profile. Harper pauses, her spoon hovering. She looks at Michael, who is staring at his father, his eyes narrowing in suspicion. Harper says, that's very specific, Chairman. Oxford is a long way from Long Beach. Mrs. Kang smoothly jumps in. But it's the best for your career, isn't it? And you've always been so focused on your education. Surely you wouldn't let a high school friendship hold you back from a future like that? The silence that follows is heavy. Michael realizes his father isn't hosting a dinner, he's laying a trap. After dessert, Michael takes Harper to one of the estate's balconies. They stand by the railing, the ocean wind whipping between them. Michael says in total disbelief. He did it. He's trying to buy you out of my life. She looks at him. Michael, it's a full ride to Oxford. It's everything I've ever worked for. No, Harper. It's a cage with a gold door. If you take it, you're playing his game. He's betting that you'll choose your grades over me. Harper looking at him, eyes fierce. And what are you betting on, Michael? Because Ashley is telling everyone I'm a footnote, and your father is trying to ship me to another continent. I'm betting that they're both wrong. Because I'm not just a Chable heir anymore. If you go to Oxford, I'm going to London. My father can own the hospitals, but he doesn't own the dirt I walk on. What do you think? Should Harper take the scholarship to Oxford? Or should she listen to Michael? Later that week, the graduation ceremony is set against the backdrop of the Pacific Ocean. The air is thick with the scent of salt and expensive floral arrangements. Rows of students sit in white and gold chairs, their futures seemingly paved, until Michael decides to tear up the map. Chairman Kang sits in the front row, the guest of honor. He looks like a statue of success. Beside him, Mrs. Kang fans herself, her eyes scanning for Michael. Ashley sits 3 rows back, looking smug. She's leaked the Oxford scholarship news to the whole school, framing it as Harper cashing out on Michael. Harper is on stage as the valedictorian. She is radiant, but her hands tremble slightly as she holds her speech. She looks at Michael, who is sitting in the graduate section, his face more stoic than ever. She goes on to say, success isn't just about the titles we inherit or the schools that offer us a way out. It's about the courage to stay when everyone expects you to run. I was offered a path to Oxford this week, a dream I didn't even know I had. But I realized that dreams shouldn't be used as bribes. A murmur ripples through the crowd. Chairman Kang's eyes narrow. He knows she just declined his gift in front of the city's elite. The ceremony ends, and the graduates toss their caps. In the chaos of celebration, Chairman Kang waits for Harper and Michael to finish chatting with Harper's family, and then he approaches them. Chairman Kang in a low, thunderous voice. You've made a spectacle of yourself, Harper. And you, Yong-Sun. You allow this? You allow her to turn down a future that cost me millions to secure? The crowd begins to gather. Ashley stands nearby, her phone out, recording. Michael stepping in front of Harper. You didn't buy a future, father. You tried to buy silence. Chairman Kang, in a strong disapproving voice. You are a Kang. You have a responsibility to this dynasty. This distraction ends today. You will go to Seoul for the summer, and you will forget this girl's name. Michael loud enough for the front 3 rows to hear. My name is Yong-Sun Kang, but I'm not your asset. Michael reaches out and takes Harper's hand, interlacing their fingers. Michael continues. You told me I would take over the business one day. But if the business requires me to be a man who treats people like chess pieces, then I want no part of it. Keep your hospitals. Keep your tech. I'd rather work a double shift at a clinic in Long Beach with her than sit in a boardroom with you. Ashley interjecting. Michael, don't be stupid. You're throwing away billions for someone who doesn't even fit in our world. Michael doesn't even look at Ashley. He keeps his eyes locked on his father. Michael says, You're right, Ashley. She doesn't fit in your world. She's too big for it. Chairman Kang looks at his son coldly and says, If you walk away now, you walk away with nothing. No trust fund. No car. No name. Michael says without hesitation. Then I'll start with nothing. At least it'll be mine. Michael turns to Harper. The stoic prince finally smiles, a genuine, lopsided grin that breaks the ice of his high society mask. Michael smiling at her says, You still have that bus pass, Harper? I think I'm going to need a ride. Harper laughs, tears of relief in her eyes, and they walk through the crowd together, leaving the chairman and the queen bee standing in the silence of their own shadows. Don't leave just yet. Stay until the end. I promise you. You won't be disappointed. The California sun has been replaced by the brick and ivy prestige of Cambridge, Massachusetts. The stakes are higher, but the bond is unbreakable. The golden hour hits the spire of Memorial Church. Harper walks across the cobblestones, wearing her white medical coat over a professional dress. She looks every bit the surgeon she's becoming, sharper, more confident, but with the same fire in her eyes that once intimidated the queen bee of Long Beach. She finds Michael sitting on a bench outside the law library. He isn't wearing the stiff, luxury suits of his father's choosing anymore. He's in a high-quality navy blazer, looking like a man who finally owns his own skin. He's buried in a thick stack of case files regarding medical tech and medical law. Harper leaning over him. If you spend any more time on that malpractice brief, I'm going to have to perform a manual extraction of that textbook from your hands. Michael closing the folder with a smile. Just making sure that when you open your first world-class neurosurgery clinic, your lead counsel is the best in the country. Harper sitting beside him. Stanford was one thing, but Harvard? We really did it, Yong-Sun. 2 full rides, 2 degrees, and not a single dime of legacy money. Michael taking her hand. My father still calls. He's watching your research papers from Seoul. He told his board last week that his greatest mistake was underestimating a girl from Long Beach. Harper leans a head onto his shoulder. They look like the power couple the world never expected. The brilliant black girl who refused to be a footnote, and the Korean heir who chose love over a dynasty. Michael goes on to say, I have a reservation at that spot in the North End. Graduation is next month. Then, we head back to California. Harper smiles and says, Back to the West Coast. But this time, we're the ones building the hospitals. And this time, the Kangs will have to make an appointment to see us. They stand together and walk toward the future, the music of their success drowning out the noise of the past forever. The story comes full circle at the Pacific Harbor Academy 8-year reunion. The glass and steel of the school still overlook the ocean, but the power dynamic has shifted forever. The ballroom is filled with the scent of expensive perfume and sea salt. The class of 8 years ago is gathered, but all eyes are on the entrance. Harper enters, looking breathtaking in a tailored cream-colored silk suit, her hair styled in an elegant updo. On her left hand, a diamond reflects the ballroom lights, a ring Michael picked out himself, bought with his own earnings from a top-tier law firm. Michael is at her side, his arm protectively around her waist. He looks healthy and relaxed, the stoic tension of his youth replaced by the quiet confidence of a man who won his freedom. Harper whispering, "It feels smaller than I remember." Michael says, "Everything looks smaller when you've seen the world on your own terms." They are immediately swarmed by former classmates and their partners, doctors, lawyers, and entrepreneurs, all wanting a moment with the couple who became the school's greatest success story. Near the bar, standing away from the main light, is a woman who looks decades older than 25. Ashley's blonde hair is brittle, her designer dress is 3 seasons old and fits poorly, due to her unhealthy weight gain and a face that carries deep lines of a life that didn't go according to plan. She is struggling with 2 toddlers, half-black children who are restless and tugging at her skirt. One boy, about 3, and younger girl, both looking exhausted. Ashley looks worn down, her eyes darting around as if she's waiting for a judgment that has already arrived. Harper and Michael walk toward the exit, and their paths cross. Ashley stops, her jaw dropping as she takes in Harper's glow and Michael's devotion. Ashley's voice raspy says, "Harper, Michael, I didn't think you'd come back here." Harper with genuine, quiet pity says, "We wanted to see where it all started, Ashley. How have you been?" Ashley looks down at her children, then back at the woman she once tried to belittle. She remembers telling Harper that Asians aren't into black girls. Yet here Harper is engaged to the man Ashley spent her life chasing, while she herself struggled through 2 failed relationships with men who never stayed, instead left her with 2 children to raise alone. Ashley says quietly, "It's been a lot. Life is harder than it looks in a yearbook." Michael nodding respectfully, but briefly, and says, "It usually is, when you focus on the wrong things." Ashley's son tugging her hand. "Mommy, I'm tired." Harper smiling warmly at the kids. "They're beautiful children, Ashley. I hope you're taking care of yourself." Ashley smiles back and nods. Harper and Michael don't linger. They don't need to gloat, their presence is enough of a statement. As they walk out toward Michael's car, a high-end electric vehicle he bought himself, the Long Beach breeze feels lighter than ever. Michael opening the door for her, with Twisted playing in the background. He asks, "Ready to go home, Dr. Kang to be?" Harper touching her ring. "I'm more than ready." They drive away, leaving the whispers and the shadows of the past behind them, heading toward a future they built with nothing but their own brilliance and a love that defied every blueprint. This story of Harper and Michael is more than a romance. It's a testament to the fact that soulmates aren't found in a blueprint or a heritage. They are found in the shared frequency of 2 hearts. As they drove away from the echoes of their past, the neon lights of Long Beach blurred into the background. Michael reached over, taking Harper's hand, his thumb tracing the ring that symbolized a victory they had won together. In a world that tried to tell them they were a mismatch, they proved that love does not see in black and white, but in the vibrant colors of character, ambition, and truth. Michael didn't fall for Harper because she fit a tradition. He fell for her because she was the only person who saw him as a man rather than a crown. Harper didn't choose Michael for his dynasty. She chose him for the courage he found to walk away from it. Their journey reminds us that when you stop worrying about what society thinks, you finally start living. Skin color is a beautiful detail of our humanity, but it is never a barrier to the soul. People like Ashley spend their lives looking for pedigrees and blueprints, only to end up lost in the ruins of their own judgment. But for Harper and Michael, the lesson was clear. When 2 people are meant to be together, the universe doesn't care about the rumors, the family expectations, or the distance. What is destined will always find its way, and a love built on mutual respect and inner strength is a kingdom that no one can take away. They weren't a Korean guy and a black girl. They were Harper and Michael, a single, unbreakable melody in a world full of noise. The end.